Hello, friends. Your little pal Rhonda here. Please disregard any noises going on in the background because I have pets that annoy me so much. God bless them. So I just have found out some very baffling news this evening, and I kind of just want to share it with, I don't know, everybody. So here goes. Here goes my little story. It's a little bit long. I'm very long-winded, as some of you know. So I work in healthcare. I've worked in healthcare for a number of years, and I worked at the hospital until pretty much almost exactly a year ago, because November 1st of last year is when they kicked out everybody who didn't get their COVID vaccine. And that included this girl, because you know what? I couldn't wrap my head around being forced to take it. And I couldn't wrap my head around lying and saying I have some religious exemption from it. That's not me. I try to live like authentically as I can. So it just didn't sit well with me. So I just said, you know what? Psh. But I have been around in clinic life and in hospital life. I've been around COVID patients since day one. I recall my first COVID patient that I walked into her room, and I think we just had like a yellow mask or something on, and she was a real young girl, and her whole family was in the room, not masked, not gown, nothing. And I walked out of the room like, what's the point of all this? Why are we even gowning up? Like, these people are just going to be spreading COVID left and right where nobody's taking precautions. And actually, it was right after that we stopped allowing visitors at the hospital. But my point of telling you that story is to let you know I've been around it since day one, and my job is extremely personal. I'm very close to people. I'm within an arm's length away from people's faces. I've been coughed on, sneezed on, spit on, breathed on by patients with COVID, literally from day one. I am in it to win it. All my coworkers have had COVID. I've been around every patient that walked into the hospital that had COVID. I mean, I've literally been in the thick of it. And I've called out sick once in like 7 years. I'm never sick. I have a great immune system. And the time that I called out sick was probably more due to my children than it was due to me. I don't really remember, but I know that it was quite some time ago. And my point of telling you this is this. So I believe in body autonomy. We all deserve to make the decisions that we want to make. And I'm trying to get this job, and they want me to get a COVID shot. And I'm trying to figure out, how can I get away with not getting that damn COVID shot? Because now it's like this personal vendetta I have against getting it. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to try and get the antibody test. I'm going to get the antibody test, and I'm going to prove if maybe I have the antibodies, maybe I've had COVID. So I go to the clinic and I just tell them, hey, I need the antibody test. And they were kind of laughing. They're like, well, we don't do this test very often. And I kind of explained to them, listen, I'm trying to get this job, and I'm just trying to prove that I have the natural resources it takes to fight COVID. And I don't need the jab. So they're like, okay, well, whatever. So they give me the test, and guess what? It's negative. Negative. I've never had COVID. I don't have it now, which I knew I didn't have it now, but could you believe that? After all this time and all my exposure, I've never had COVID. I'm a badass motherfucker. I just want you guys to know that. I've told you before, I'm a badass motherfucker. Do you know that COVID has actually stopped me from getting laid? And now it was pointless. I should have just done whatever I wanted to do. Okay? So that's it. I've never had COVID, and that's that.